What do you say to people that say women should not be playing tackle football? That's not what they should be doing.
I say the idea that football isn't for women is as crazy as the idea that football isn't for kids. Football isn't for, the idea that you can quantify who a sport is for, it defeats the whole purpose of sports.
Visionary, businesswoman, leader. Those are just a few words that come to mind when I think about Odessa O.J. Jenkins. She's a successful tech sports executive, CEO of Bonfire, and the founder of the Women's National Football Conference. We recently sat down to chat about all things women's football and much more, and how the Women's National Football Conference is redefining what Black women in sports should and will look like in the future.
So, fun story. When I first met OJ, it was on IG Live. I was doing my podcast, and I had just started, and I was doing it on IG Live during the pandemic. And I wasn't familiar with you or what you do at the time. And I was running late. I think I got caught in traffic, and I talked to you from my car. And you were so gracious, so incredibly kind. And we've crossed paths several times after that, and you've remained the same. So I want to first just salute you for your temperament, for your kindness, for your courage in entering into a space that a lot of other people would say, not so much. For you, what has this journey, incorporating women into professional football been like for you?
It's a dream, I think it's hard to tell at what stage you are of the journey. So in some ways it's scary, but it is absolutely my purpose. And I'm having a blast. Somebody was telling me the other day, like, you look like you're having a really good time.
Yeah, you don't have bags under your eyes or anything. You look incredible.
But I am. I'm having a blast. Like, I get to, every day I wake up and I think about how to put women in position to win, how to put women in, how to accelerate equity and make sure that there's an opportunity for her in every space. And so doing that for women in football is personal, right?
Absolutely.
I play tackle football, I coach tackle football. Doing that for the women that are here and that are coming behind is personal, but honestly, it's also exciting because it's a business opportunity.
Yeah, when you talk about building a national football league for women, what's the biggest barrier to entry that you encountered? And what's the biggest level of success that you feel you've experienced so far?
Sure. Most people would think the barrier is the girls, the women themselves trying to find women who play football, where hundreds and thousands of women are there. So the women and girls are there, which is nice. The biggest barrier is resources. I think there's limited awareness and limited storytelling, but that comes because the dollars aren't there yet, right? Where there's dollars, there are cameras. Where there are cameras, there are brands. Where there are right? Begets. And so I think the biggest hurdle is going to be how to continue to be strategic, to have brands latch on to the idea of women playing tackle and flag football. And then finding investors, right? Finding investors that see women's sports as a smart investment and continue to grab at that.
Yeah, what would you like to see from the NFL specifically in partnering and or supporting the work that you're doing in the league itself?
Yeah, I'd like to see the NFL completely and explicitly support women playing football, whether it be flag or tackle. I know the NFL is really focused on youth girls right now, which makes sense. But I think that there is a space for the NFL to clearly come in and say, we support with their dollar, with their resources, we support the WNFC, we support women playing tackle football. And I think when that does happen, it will create a legitimacy for women playing football, similar to how all of a sudden girls have been playing flag football forever.
Now it's in the Olympics. They finally caught on.
Yes. So yeah, I think that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see the NFL say, you know what? We are turning our time, our attention, our dollars to women's football to ensure that not only does it keep existing, but it exists in an affluent way.
What do you say to people, and I'm sure you've gotten this question before, but I've never been able to ask you. What do you say to people that say women should not be playing tackle football? That's not what they should be doing.
Well, this might not be for them. I think that's the first thing I'm starting to realize is like everything isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
There is an audience for everything, right? And I think us as women's sports need to stop apologizing.
Yeah.
Of course, we have to be marketable. Of course, we have to be all those things. But I say the idea that football isn't for women is as crazy as the idea that football isn't for kids. Football isn't for, like the idea that you can quantify who a sport is for. It defeats the whole purpose of sports, because sport is supposed to be irregardless of gender, where you're from, what language you speak. It's a universal language of team, of fun, especially this sport. So the other thing I would say that is really, really important for me is that we are past the time of anyone defining what women are capable of.
I love that.
We need to start defining what we're capable of and what we should and shouldn't do. And it's time for the world to realize that we're done with that.
I love that. One major way that being a Black woman in sports has enriched your life?
Adversity. I know how to handle adversity. I know how to get it done with not a lot, right? I said that like it was a rep.
You was spitting bars right here. I was gonna let you go.
I'm about to drop some bars. No, because I know how to do it. I know how to get it done, right? And it's like people find it miraculous, some of the things that we're doing in the league, whether it be marketing or social media or finding brand partnerships where there were none before. And I think as a Black woman, I've gotten that because I know how to go get it without a lot of resources as a young girl from South Central LA. Like I know how to make it happen and be a 10Xer. So that's helped me as a woman in sports. And then the other thing is like, I was born this way. I was born into a world, into a society that doesn't always make a space for me. So I have to know how to use my voice and my presence as a Black woman to make a space for others.
And you've certainly done that. And speaking of making a space, you got some advice that you're leaving to us on that playbook. Can you share your secret to success that you left on the playbook?
So I put here, embrace the power of choice. Because I know that everyone's path is going to be different. Everyone's journey is different. And I think when you're going through it, sometimes you forget, especially as women, sometimes we forget that you always have a choice. Don't let the world, don't let society, don't let expectations take away your number one opportunity, and that is to choose whether or not I want to do this or not. I'm going to step forward, step backward, deal with the consequences, but it is always your choice. So embrace the power of choice.
I love that. Well, thank you for choosing to be a trailblazer.
Thank you.
I'm always pulling for you.
Yes.
Enjoy yourself in this week, and all the best when your season kicks off.
Thank you, sister. I appreciate you.